The early 2000s was the golden era for RTS games, bringing us a list of some of the best ever made. One of those games was the classic Age of Mythology, which is the younger brother of Age of Empires 2, which was an excellent and still is an amazing game. But Ensemble Studios decided to do something different and went on a course of doing Age of Mythology, which is an exceptional game. Now you might ask yourself, game, what do you talk about Age of Mythology? This game is old. It's 22 years old, and yet still it aged like a fine wine. There is a list of things to talk about, covering its gameplay, magic, and bright future. Well, for starters, this game didn't get all the credit it deserves. It was amazing. For its time, it brought us new gameplay, new mechanics, and a shit ton of things to do, and also taught us something about history. Now, secondly, Age of Mythology Retold is around the corner, and boy oh boy, I'm excited, and there is a lot to talk about. So, in the next 7 minutes, you will listen to why AOM was one of the best games and my own 4 wishes for Retold. Going back in time where it all began, Age of Mythology played a huge part in my childhood, and I can bet for the most people that are watching this video. I used to spend so many hours playing the campaign over and over again, playing skirmishes versus AIs, 8 or 7 at a time, playing online with my friends, more like LAN, because that's what we used at that time, and getting smashed by my older brother all the time at Jotunheim. I used to come back to this game over the years, watching movies like Troy or Alexander, reminded me that I want to command a platoon of hoplites, and yet again after playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was a great example of how you should be in the battlefield, always got me back to Age of Mythology. And now, after I recorded this session, I was amazed at how much this gameplay is so smooth and so fun, and the campaign, oh damn, the campaign is written so well, covering so much folklore and history, from Atlantis, the sunken city, to the Greek Great War on Troy, to Egypt with the pyramids, and then to the Vikings fighting the giants in the north. And all this time with characters that really add the character. You had fun watching it. The game didn't take itself too seriously, and I will mention why in the next few minutes. But let's stop it here and talk about the gameplay. And let's start with the basic resources. We had food, wood, gold, and favor, which each faction had different ways to collect them. Favor was a major part in the game, bringing us myth units. Now talking about factions, each one had a different way to approach the game. But here is the brilliant part. Every faction obviously had a different gods. So for each, you had 3 major gods and then minor gods with their own benefits, mythic units, god powers, and obviously research, which was very unique for the specific gods, helping infantry or economy. Now that sounds like a tech tree, right? But no, the god powers that you were given or the mythic units could change the entire way and the tide of the battle. And this was the way of Ensemble Studios changing the familiar formula of rock, paper, scissors, which were very common at the RTS at the time. But you might ask, game, this sounds so complex, so many mechanics to control. You might be right, but the game developers did something to support that. They added a mechanic more appealing to the average gamer. If you are an RTS savvy, you probably know how much heavy is the macro at the late game. You need to focus macro, fighting, economy, everything all together. But this game said something different. I want to appeal to the new players, the new RTS players. I want to introduce auto queue. Just pick a unit, build a building, and let it run. Set a rally point and just play the game. Now I must admit something, this game wasn't perfect. It had flaws. From bad AI pathing to bad combat pathing, mythic unit used to do whatever the fuck they want. While I was a little kid, I was still saying to myself, they are mythic units, they are wild, we cannot control them. But no, that's just bad AI. And damn the bugs. Units getting stuck on mountains, gold patches, walls. Once while playing the Titans expansion, Ejek was stuck on a mountain, and to finish, I had to bring him to the objective. Luckily for me, I had the god power of teleport, but without that, I had to redo the entire mission. And let's not start talking about online, which, to be honest, led to me not playing that much, but that was a really rough experience. But still, with all of that, I had a blast playing. Now, let's stop and talk about the future of Age of Mythology. For some reason, Age of Mythology fans has a lot to expect from this year, because Age of Mythology Retold is a new game. It's not a remix, revive, I don't know what. It's a new entire game for the fans to play with new storylines, new characters, new builds, and I for one have a wishlist for this game. So let's start it off. First and foremost, keep the game simple, not make it macro heavy, make it super friendly for the new player and RTS gamer to play. As well, keep it fast paced, that was the entire magic of this game. My only concern with this method is the competitive scene, because how this game is set, you can only change the outcome of a battle once or twice, but that's all. Secondly, keep the atmosphere. It was fun, it was light-hearted, and the game didn't take itself too seriously. For me, this is the best example of what I mean.
Not if they think we've left. Poseidon is the lord of horses. In Atlantis, a defeated general surrenders his horse when beaten.
A horse, yes. A great wooden horse.
I don't understand. Will it fight?
Now for the third item on my wishlist. Now this might be more of an RPG thing, but bear with me. As a young kid, I used to create my own scenes, like two lines of soldiers facing each other with space between their ranks, letting their leader pass before the final push, showing him respect. The thing is, it took me hours to set, because I had to click on move action hoping they would line up as I wanted. Direction drag will probably fix it. And by the way, this would happen in every single level. I would write myself my own scenarios and placing buildings in a way that seemed like an old city. And yes, I know this isn't what RTS is, but I wish more games have given you the option to be both RTS as well as a city builder without micromanaging every resource. And now for the last item on my wishlist. Yes, I know, it's short. I'm a simple man with no high demands, but this one is probably the biggest one on my wishlist, and that's physics of the game. I would love to see destruction in this game, building parts flying everywhere, colossi crashing temples, and human units flying everywhere after a cyclop or minotaur flies them away from them. Now, when this video is about to end, I would like to ask you one thing. Please add in the comment section what is your wishlist for this game and what do you hope to see in the next Age of Mythology game. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble. I really hope we can enjoy this game in 2024. And one last thing, if you watched until this section, you probably enjoyed it. So please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much.